Hello everyone. In this video, we are discussing about specifications of an instrument and also the different types of instruments present in electrical measurements and instrumentation subject. So while coming to the first topic, we will discuss about different specifications of instrument. Different specifications of any instrument. Coming to the first specification, the first specification is accuracy. The first specification is accuracy and the second specification is precision. And the second specification is precision. Coming to the third specification, resolution. Coming to the third one, resolution. And coming to the fourth one, sensitivity. And coming to the fourth one, sensitivity. These are the four main parts or four main categories of specifications of an instrument. First one is accuracy, second one is precision, third one is resolution, and the fourth one is sensitivity. Coming to the first one, accuracy. Now I am going to give the definition for the accuracy. The value which is closer or nearer to the true value of an instrument is nothing but accuracy. I will explain the concept of accuracy with an example here. Let us take an ammeter. Let me say that the range of an ammeter is 0 to 5 amps. That is, the maximum reading of ammeter is 5 and the minimum reading is taken as 0. Now I am using this ammeter which has a range of 5 amps for performing an experiment in our lab. Now first reading of this is given as 5 amps. And when I am using the same ammeter for the next time, it is showing 4.99. When I am using the same experiment for the third time, it is showing as 4.99. The value which is near to the true value. What is the true value of the ammeter? 5 amps. The value which is near to the true value is nothing but 4.99 and 4.99. These values are called accurate values of this ammeter. These values are called as accurate values of the ammeter. 4.99, 4.98. Coming to the definition again, accuracy. It is defined as the value which is nearer to the or closer to the true value of an instrument is called as accuracy. Next one is precision. The definition of precision is that it is defined as most repeated value or most reproducible value of an instrument. I will give an example for this also. Let me take an ammeter which has a range of only 3 amps. First I am performing the experiment by using this ammeter here. It is showing the value of 3 at the first time. For the second time it is showing the value as some 2.9. For the third time it is showing as 2.8. Again 2.9, and the last time, fifth time when I am performing the experiment, it is showing as 2.9. You see the variations in the values. I am using the ammeter which has a range of 3 amps here. At the first it is showing the accurate value as 3. In the next time 2.9, 2.8, 2.9 and 2.9. The most repeated value out of all these 5 times experiment is considered was 2.9. This 2.9 is called as a precise value of that particular instrument which has a range of 0 to 3 amps. This 2.9 is the most repeatable value or reproducible value of the given instrument, that is 0 to 3 amps. I am going to give the definition for precision again. The most repeatable or reproducible value of the given instrument is called as precision. Coming to the third factor, resolution. The small change in the output for the given input value is called as resolution. The small change in the output for the given input is called as a resolution. I will give a small diagram for this. Let me take a system. I am giving some amount of input to the system in the form of a signal. I will get an output here. But the output which I have delivered from the given system will not be similar to that of a input what I have given. There will be small change in the output. The small change in the output with respect to the given input is considered as a resolution of a given system. Coming to the next important factor, sensitivity. Coming to the next important factor, sensitivity. The sensitivity of an instrument is defined as change in the output quantity, change in the output quantity by change in the input quantity, change in the input quantity. The ratio of change in output to the ratio of change in input will give you the sensitivity of that particular instrument. If I want to calculate the percentage sensitivity of an instrument, this factor should be multiplied by 100. So, in order to get the percentage sensitivity or sensitivity of that particular instrument, I need to take the ratio of change in the output value with respect to the change in the input value of that particular instrument. So, these are all the four main specifications of an instrument. The first one is accuracy, second one is precision, third one is resolution, and the fourth one is sensitivity. And the fourth one is sensitivity. I am going to define the accuracy again. The value which is nearer to the true value of the instrument is called as accurate value, or it will be called as an accuracy. Coming to the next factor, precision. The most repeatable value or reproducible value of that instrument is called as what? Precise value, or else it is called as precision. Coming to the third factor, that is resolution. The smallest change in the output with respect to the given input is called as resolution of that instrument. Coming to the fourth factor, sensitivity, which is defined as ratio in change in output to the change in input. If I want to get the percentage sensitivity, it should be multiplied by 100. These are all the four main specifications of an instrument. Now coming to the next topic, we will discuss about types of instruments. We will discuss about types of instruments. If I want to discuss about types of instrument, in general, we will have two types of instruments. In general, we will have two types of instruments which can be classified as, first one is MC instruments and the second one is MI instruments. First one is MC instruments and the second one is MI instruments, where MC instruments is called as moving coil instruments. It is abbreviated as moving coil instruments, and the second category is MI instruments is called as moving iron instruments. MC instruments are called as moving coil instruments, and MI moving iron instruments are called as MI instruments here. Now first we will go with the definition of moving iron instrument and also the moving coil instruments here. Moving coil instruments here. In case of a moving coil, a conductor or coil is used to measure the value of current and voltage. In case of a MC instrument, that is moving coil instrument, a conductor or coil is used to measure the value of what parameters? Is used to measure voltage or current. That is, MC is an instrument which is used to measure the value of voltage and current with the help of a conductor or else with the help of a coil. This is the general definition of a moving coil instrument. Now coming to the definition of a moving iron instruments. Moving iron instrument mainly uses a soft iron core or soft iron disc. It uses a soft iron core or soft iron disc in order to measure the values of voltage and current. In case of a MC instruments, we are using a conductor or coil to measure the values of voltage and current. In case of a moving iron instrument, we are using a soft iron core or soft iron disc in order to measure the values of voltage and current. So, by giving the definitions of moving coil and moving iron, I can't say that it is used for measuring voltage and current, and this is used for voltage and current. There might be some working principles. For both MC instrument and also MI instruments. The main working principle of a MC instrument is it works on the principle of a Lorentz-Force law. It works on the principle of a Lorentz-Force law, which is similar to the working principle of a DC motor. Now coming to the working principle of a MI instrument, it works on the principle of a magnet. It works on the principle of a magnet, that is properties of magnet, which includes attraction and repulsion. Which includes attraction and repulsion. That is, the MI instruments will work mainly based upon the properties of a magnet, which includes attraction and repulsion. And the working principle of a moving coil mainly works on the principle of a Lorentz-Force law. Why? Because as I am using a conductor or coil to produce some amount of force here. Now coming to the statement of a Lorentz-Force law. Whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a certain magnetic field, it experiences some force. So that force will be utilized in MC instrument to move the pointer on its particular scale. In this, I am using attraction force and repulsion force to produce that particular force in case of an MI instrument. Now coming to the uses. For what type of supply MC instruments will be used? For what type of supply and MI instruments will be used? MC instruments will be used only to measure DC values. MC instruments are used only to measure DC value, and MI instruments are used to measure both AC and DC values. That is, MI instruments either it can be used to measure the average values or RMS values of a particular instrument, but MC instrument is used only for measuring average values. Why? Because it will work only on DC supply. It will work only on DC supply. This is a major disadvantage of a moving coil, as it cannot be worked on AC supply. As it cannot be worked on AC supply. Coming to the next parameter, the MC instrument can be used as an ammeter. The MC instrument can be used as an ammeter or voltmeter or galvanometer, or else it can also be used as an ohmmeter. Or else it can also be used as an ohmmeter. That is, the moving coil instrument, it can be used as an ammeter to measure average values, voltmeter to measure average values, or else it can be used as a galvanometer for the null deflection value, or else it can be used as an ohmmeter to measure the internal resistance of a circuit. Coming to the uses of MI instrument. MI instrument can also be used as a voltmeter. It can also be used as a ammeter, and it can also be used as a wattmeter. It can also be used as a wattmeter. It can be used as a voltmeter, which works for both AC and DC. It can be used as an ammeter, which works for both AC and DC. It can be used as a wattmeter, which is used to measure the value of a power. Which is used to measure the value of a power. Coming to the next differences. The next difference indicates the power consumption. The power consumption in case of a moving coil instrument is very low, and the power consumption of a MI instrument is very high. This is the major disadvantage. The power consumption of a MI instrument is quite high when compared to the MC instrument. Coming to the next one, production of controlling force. In case of an MI instrument, controlling force can be provided by using both the techniques, that is spring control method and also gravity control method. But in case of a moving coil instrument, only spring control is used to produce controlling torque. Coming to the next parameters, deflection of a pointer. As both MC and MI instrument consists of a pointer which is used to take the reading, either it may be ammeter, voltmeter or wattmeter. The deflection of a pointer in case of an MC instrument is always proportional to the deflection of a pointer in case of a MC instrument is always proportional to the square of the current. Whereas in case of an MI instrument, the deflection of a pointer is proportional to the value of current. While coming to the next factor, accuracy. Accuracy in reading the values. This instrument also is used to read the values, average values, and this instrument also is used to read the average values or RMS values or any other values with respect to DC and AC. But the main thing is nothing but with respect to accuracy. The moving coil instruments are high accurate and the moving iron instruments are less accurate in reading the values. In reading values. As though the MI instruments are used for both reading of average values and RMS values, it is less accurate when compared to the MC instruments. When compared to the MC instruments. Coming to the next one, scale. Coming to the next one, scale. There will be two types of scale. The scale will be uniform scale and non-uniform scale. The scale of a MC instrument is always uniform. The scale of a MC instrument is always uniform, and the scale of a MI instrument is non-uniform. And the scale of the MI instruments is non-uniform. These are all the major differences between both MC instruments and MI instruments. These are the major types of instrument. What is the first one? MC. And what is the next one? MI, where MC is considered as moving coil and MI is considered as moving iron. This is used for measuring DC values. This is used for measuring all DC and AC values. These are all the basic points which gives you the difference between moving coil instruments and also moving iron instruments. Now we will enter into the next topic, which is regarding this MC instrument considered as PMMC. PMMC, which is considered as or abbreviated as permanent magnet moving coil instrument. Permanent magnet moving coil instrument. As it indicates that it is a moving coil instrument, it is only used to measure DC values. It is only used to measure DC values. That is, PMMC instrument can be used only for DC supply and it can only used for measuring average values of an instrument. And it is mainly used for only average values of an instrument. And PM is nothing but it indicates permanent magnet. It indicates permanent magnet. That is, in the structure of a PMMC instrument, I am going to use the permanent magnets to produce some amount of force. Fine. The abbreviation of PMMC is permanent magnet moving coil, which consists of a permanent magnets which is used to read only average values of an instrument. Now coming to the construction parts of a PMMC instrument. Constructional parts of a PMMC instrument. As the name itself indicates that it consists of permanent magnet. It consists of a permanent magnet, and the second part is aluminium frame. Now I am discussing about the constructional parts of a PMMC instrument. Permanent magnet, aluminium frame, spindle or rod, springs, pointer with a scale, pointer attached to a scale. These are all the major constructional parts of a PMMC instrument. First one is I am going to use a permanent magnets in this instrument, and the next one is aluminium frame. Third one is spindle or rod. Fourth one is springs, and the fifth one is pointer, which is attached to a scale. Now I am going to draw the diagram of a PMMC instrument. I am going to draw the diagram of a PMMC instrument. As discussed here, it consists of a permanent magnet. I am taking a small magnet which consists of a north pole and south pole, and the second one is nothing but it consists of a spindle. Let me take the shape of the spindle is like this. And it also consists of an aluminium frame. I am drawing the aluminium frame here, which is present at the center of the magnet. which is present at the center of the magnet. This part is considered as a spindle. This is nothing but a magnet, and this is nothing but an aluminium frame. This is nothing but an aluminium frame. There is one more important part what we have discussed earlier regarding this construction parts, that is nothing but springs. Springs are placed in the spindle which are circular in shape, and the supply will be given to the springs in case of a PM instrument. As it is used to read only DC values, I need to give the DC supply. There is one more part in that is nothing but a pointer which is attached to a scale. I am attaching a pointer to one of the string which is present on the above the instrument, and I am attaching a scale here. Scale is nothing but which consists of different values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now coming to the general diagram, this is the general constructional view of a PMMC instrument, which consists of an aluminium frame, which consists of a magnet, which consists of a spindle, springs, and also something. Here at the end of the spindle, you see here there is a part which is called as supporters. These are the supporters here are used to support or withstand the spindle which is carrying some amount of springs in it. And there will be some ball bearings present at the edges. These ball bearings which are present in this instrument are used to reduce the frictional error which is present at the edges. Here. Now coming to the discussion regarding springs. The springs which are present in case of an PMMC instrument are very brittle in nature. The meaning of brittle is easily breakable. That is, the springs which are present in this instrument can carry a current only up to 50 milliamps. If the value of current is more than 50 milliamps, there may be a chance of break of springs. And the springs is made up of a phosphorus bronze. And the springs which are present in PMMC instrument is made up of a phosphorus bronze. Now coming to the magnet. What is the working principle of a MC instrument? What we have discussed earlier. The working principle of a MC instrument is completely similar to that of a DC motor. The working principle of a DC motor is Lorentz force law. Now I am going to give the statement of this. Whenever a current carrying conductor, here the current carrying conductor is nothing but my spindle. Whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, it experiences some amount of force. According to the Lorentz force law. That force which is produced by this magnetic effect is utilized to move the pointer on the scale. The force which is produced by using this Lorentz force law is utilized to move the pointer on the scale. The force which is used to move the pointer is called as what? Deflection force. That is, deflection force will be acted in this direction. Now coming to the next thing, controlling force. Controlling force can be achieved by only springs in case of an MC instrument. That is the reason why I am using springs here. These springs are used to produce a controlling force, and the controlling force is produced in the opposite direction of a deflection force. You see here, one force is applied in this direction and other force is applied in opposite direction. When two forces collide at a particular point, what happens? A collision will take place here. As two forces collide at a particular point, collisions will take place according to the law of physics. So, in order to reduce the oscillations in that pointer, I am going to use one more force in this direction, which is called as damping force. Deflection force is provided with the help of a Lorentz force law. Controlling force is produced with the help of a springs, and damping force is applied in order to reduce the oscillations. Here the damping force is produced with the help of a magnet. What I am using here, the damping provided here is eddy current damping. What is the reason I am using only eddy current damping is that as I am using a permanent magnet, eddy current damping should be used, and this is a strong type of damping technique which can reduce the oscillations permanently in a pointer. which can reduce the oscillations permanently in a pointer.